Hello YouTube, Slay Warrior here with another card discussion, and this is not news. I guarantee you this is not news, alright? I'm not a news channel, but I'm going to be talking about something that happened to be released recently. This is a effect that has been announced for Masked Hero Dark Law that we know that we're going to be getting in the new Hero Structure deck, along with Shadow Mist and some other new hero cards, form change. But what we got here is a new card that can be summoned by mask change, and the target would have to be dark. Okay, so this is its effect. Must be special summoned by mask change and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Wow. Once per turn, when your opponent adds a card or cards from their main deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, you can banish a random card from your opponent's hand. That is that's good. That is a good card. That is a card that in mask change, mask change, you just have to have a hero of the same attribute, an elemental hero, I believe. So we can go Shadow Mist, Escuridao. Is that it? I don't know. I can't think of any others that are dark. Is Bladedge dark? I'm not even sure. But alright, so what we've got is these two effects, okay? And these two effects are being compared to some continuous trap cards that see play in the side deck today. Namely this card here, Mistake, and this card, Macrocosmos. But I have to say that I disagree with that. I don't think that it's really a Mistake Macrocosmos sort of effect. I'd actually compare it more to like this card here, Mind Crush, combined with Demok. And even though Demok only banished the monsters that he destroyed by battle, I mean, it's only your opponent. That's the thing. Macrocosmos affects you. Every card gets banished. Mistake affects you. You can't search from your deck at least. So what Demok did is he banished the monsters he destroyed by battle, and what Dark Law does is he just banishes everything that your opponent would be sending to the graveyard. Mind Crush is the same way. It doesn't stop searches. It lets your opponent's searches go through, but then it banishes a random card from your hand, which is like Mind Crush, where you could just call the card they searched and then they'd have to discard it. So if they had multiples, they'd discard all copies. So that's another thing that. It's one way Mind Crush could be considered a little bit better because, you know, you're only discarding the one. But, I mean, I'm not really comparing the... I'm not saying that you should either play Mind Crush or Masked Hero Dark Law. I'm saying that Masked Hero Dark Law has a Mind Crush-like effect and a Dark Magician of Chaos-like effect, more so than it has a Macrocosmos or Mistake-like effect. Okay, so another thing that people are saying about this card here is that it's an overpowered card, and it's broken, you know what I mean? It's they don't even use the phrase break the game. They just say it's a broken card. And I don't see how they can make that judgment yet. I mean, they've been saying that about a lot of new cards recently. Dragon's Legend was released, right? And, you know, there are some pretty good cards in that. I mean, Soul Charge, I guess you can make an argument for it being broken. But then you've got, like, the hands, right? You got Fire and Ice Hand. People say that are broken. I mean, they're good cards. They pop and they you know, special summon each other. So, you know, they're floaters that can pop stuff, and those are good effects. But I don't think that necessarily means it's a broken effect just because it's good. It can be splashed into different decks. It's not archetypical. Another one is Mathematician, where, you know, they're saying, oh, that it can send any level 4 lower monster to the graveyard just by normal summoning it, plus you get the card trooper draw. Not only can that miss timing, but the actual sending to the graveyard effect isn't as good as you think because, you know, it takes up a normal summon, and Mathematician is level 3, so, you know, it's not level 4, which is the level of most normal summonable monsters. What deck would use this? What deck needs a single level 4 lower monster in their graveyard that much? I mean, the only one I can think of is Inzectors, and they already have Armageddon Knight for that. Plus, Armageddon Knight gets its effect when it's summoned by any manner, you know what I mean? So I don't see how Mathematician can be considered broken in any way at all. Another one is Kuribandit, and these are all new cards that I'm saying. Kuribandit is a good card, and it's definitely been seeing play in the tournaments since its release. It has been excavating and adding those spells and setting up those graveyards, but it hasn't broken any metagame. It hasn't completely taken over the game to the point where there are entire decks based around Kuribandit, and before Kuribandit was a thing, these decks couldn't exist, and after Kuribandit was a thing, the decks dominated. Like, that's not how it works. So, the reason I just discussed those 3 cards is because Masked Hero Dark Law is gonna be worse than those cards, because those 3 cards that I just mentioned, Kuribandit, the Hands, and Mathematician, as well as even Soul Charge, they're splashable cards. Masked Hero Dark Law can only be made in decks that play dark heroes, I think elemental heroes, as well as mask change. And let's just talk about heroes quick, right? So just the hero archetype, the only deck that'll be able to play this card. It isn't good. It's not good now, right? And it wasn't good before it lost its best card, Stratos. I mean, it was okay. It topped occasionally with the Bubble Beat version, but I don't know. So what, we have this card over here now, Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. It's supposed to make up for it. It's dark, so it can go into Dark Law. I don't know. Another thing is cards that are like staple, such as Heavy Storm was stapled. Now, cards like Book of Moon and Bottomless Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, those are staples. But staple is different from broken. Okay, Book of Moon is a really good card with many different uses, but it's not really a broken card. It's just a good card. So, and it's splashable. So why is it that cards that are splashable? This card isn't even splashable, and people are calling it broken. So why is it that cards that are good and splashable are just immediately labeled as broken, but only when they're new? Like, let's go back really far. Jinzo. Jinzo was a card that was, I would even say, could have been broken back in the day when every deck had to play it, and, you know, the format was slower, a lot more traps were played, so it would lock down your opponent's traps, and they wouldn't be able to do anything if they had lots of traps on the field. It was essentially first player to Jinzo wins, you know? So it was a staple back then, right? And people probably called it broken. It altered the metagame with its release. Another one is like Call the Haunted. Back then, you just, you know, set your Call the Haunted, get something in the graveyard, special summon it, just attack, attack, attack. That's what I had to do back then to win, is just to keep attacking, you know. So attack points were, you know, the most important thing. And, you know, now we've got a 2400 attack, you know, level 6 fusion with a strong effect, and it's being considered broken because of its effect. And not even to mention, its special summon condition is not easily met. It's definitely not splashable. It hasn't even come out yet. I mean, it's far from being released even in the OCG. It comes out in a structure deck with a whole bunch of other cards that aren't announced yet. The only way we can test it now is on Dev Pro. So how can we claim that this card is going to be broken? It has a good effect. It has two good effects. You know, both of them are going to be very useful, you know, against Mermails with the banishing and with the searching, you know, spellbooks, Boojins, decks. It would be good with the banishing against Boojins too, so it'll be good. But it's only in Heroes, and Heroes are not good right now. Heroes are not meta. Even with this card here, Shadow Mist, they aren't going to be... Here, there's Shadow Mist effects for you guys if you want to read that real fast. So even with another searcher, Heroes aren't going to be breaking the game in any way. It's one deck, guys. This card here can be played in one deck. It's not broken, it's not overpowered, it's a good card. It's a good card with good effects. Alright, so that's all I have to say about that. And I'd like you guys to give your opinions on Master Dark Law in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, favorite it if you liked it that much. Subscribe to my channel for more card discussions as well as duels, pack openings, stuff like that, you know. So I will see you guys later with more discussions.